A very good morning to you, and thanks for joining us on yet another interesting segment of the newspaper review right here on TAF TV. My name is Cyril Aloysius, and with me in today's segment of the newspaper review is Mr. Victor Siokus. I am very much welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, before we go straight into the business of the day, we'll go on a short break, and when we come back, all of the interesting headlines in the papers for today and the discussions will be coming your way. Do stay tuned.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
All right, you're very much welcome from that short break. And the first paper we shall be looking at for today is The Nation. And amongst the headlines in The Nation, we have 50 Kaduna train captives sick, dying. 50 Kaduna train captives sick, dying. That's on page 5. Negotiator worried. That's on page 5. And on page 5 again, we have attack on churches. Bandits seek 100 million naira ransom. Attack on churches. Bandits seek 100 million naira ransom. That's on page 5 as well. And we have next in The Nation, this one here says, Lawan contested senatorial primary, says APC chair. Inducement. Oyetola seeks probe of Adeleke. That's on page 4 and page 27 of The Nation. And next in Nation, we have Governor-elect disputes Ekiti vote buying claim. Governor-elect disputes Ekiti vote buying claim. And lastly, in Nation, we have petrol marketers increase pump price amid scarcity. Petrol marketers increase pump price amid scarcity. Okay, that's the much we can take in The Nation. Mr. Victor, I don't know which of the headlines you want to talk about.
Thank you, sir. Let me start with the Ekiti news, whereby we had the president meeting with the governor-elect, Abiodun himself.
Yeah.
Abiodun Oyebanji. Okay. So, they met, and one thing to point out there is that the president did not mention in his speech, never mentioned about vote buying. And mind you, it was the major highlight from the election last weekend. We had various videos that popped up the internet. You see where people were queuing up, leaving their lines, the voting lines, to queue up where monies were being shared. And the president, the commander of the chief of the armed forces, the leader of the party, APC, did not make any mention about this disease, this cankerworm that has been highly introduced in Nigerian politics today.
Do you think that's as a result of the fact that it has to do with his own party?
No two ways about that.
Or maybe if it was a thing concerning PDP, maybe he would have said something.
Maybe. So, and mind you, the governor-elect came out to also say that there was no case of vote buying.
Definitely.
He denied it outrightly.
Any other governor would do that, actually. You don't expect them to come out and tell you, oh, such a thing happened in my state. Come on.
Our viewers need to go and see that video where we compiled about 8 to 10 incidences of vote buying that happened during the election. My brother, it is so clear. We can't shy away from that. This country, why would a president, you want to leave office with the notion that you are organizing a free and fair election, free and fair changeover. But you never mentioned anything about the vote buying that occurred during the weekend.
Well, Mr. Victor, I don't know. would you really blame citizens of Ekiti State? Would you really blame them for actually selling their votes?
Like I said yesterday.
Given the state of hunger in the country at the moment, because how do you intend to convince a man who is hungry, a man who barely feeds 3 times a day, not to sell his vote for 5,000 naira come 2023 elections?
That is what the government of Nigeria, not just the APC, right from the PDP, they have invested so much in impoverishing Nigerians so that during the election, they can induce them with funds and they get revoted.
Okay.
So it is now like...
Because it makes sense, actually. It makes sense that...
they withhold those monies.
Yes, because
those...
if they actually make life easy for the masses, then someone who at least who can actually feed himself at least twice a day, come the election, I think the person won't be easily compelled to sell his vote.
Let me also tell you, remember 2020, during the palliative crisis, when many warehouses, we found that foods meant for the people were all stored in warehouses.
We're hoarding them.
My brother, the election is very close. In fact, we started seeing scenes where bags of beans is being packaged with posters and being shared. Very soon, we'll discover more warehouses that these politicians have been using state funds to buy this and keep, not forgetting.
And now they bring it back to the masses as though it is coming from their own pockets. Like, you know when someone gives me something to give to you, and I hide it from you for a while, and then later when you are in need, and I'll bring it out and act like, oh, this is me giving it to you. That's the scenario right now.
It is playing out.
That's the scenario right now.
It is playing out, both in monetary aspect, cash, and in product items, food. The impoverishing Nigerians.
And it leads up to the question, Mr. Victor. It leads up to this question. Must it always be when it's time for election that these politicians come out to, do things like this, give out money, give out food? Why does it have to happen once in every 4 years? That's the question.
Because they know that.
It's almost like, okay, now I have what I wanted, so it's over.
Yes.
Then when it's time to get what I want again, I come back and...
Exactly. But let me also tell you that these persons, as in the politicians, the government of today, they do not really care about solving the issues of vote buying. Reason. Some persons have been arrested. EFCC went in there, arrested some persons. Mind you, before you know it, you will not hear about the story again. They will push it out, release those persons, which I'm sure that will happen. The winning party will come.
You think,
release the persons.
Do you think those persons who are being brought to book at the moment would gradually, find their way out?
They will not be brought to book. They only do cosmetic arresting. Yes.
So, Mr. Victor, what's the way forward now? What do we do as a nation?
The way forward, for now...
Because as it stands, we can't continue like this. People are selling their vote, and you can't blame them for selling their vote because there's hunger in the land.
Well, you need to blame them, because if you take care of the hunger of the now, of just 2 days, 3 days, or let's just say maximum 1 week now, what happens in the next 4 years? So people need to be sensitized, especially the poor and the downtrodden.
But Mr. Victor, we also need to understand that not everybody thinks the way you think.
Oh yes. So make them think the way I think.
Not everybody sees life the way you are saying it.
You should make sure they think the way you think. Iron sharpens iron. Go out there, you on your own, myself.
Yes.
Go out there and tell this to the people.
Mr. Victor, there's something hunger does to you most times. Hunger resets the memory. It resets your brain. I don't know if you.
I know it's a difficult thing, no two ways about it. And when they tell you, when these politicians,
I don't blame them. I don't blame those.
No, I blame them. Okay, let's now put it this way. If the government, they are playing their role, like we mentioned the EFCC, you get these corporates, okay, and discipline them. The ones that need to go to jail, they go to jail. The ones that need to pay fine, they pay fine. But make sure that they are well disciplined and you publicize it for everybody to know that, see, vote buying is a criminal act. Let me now see whether it will not be reduced. I know it will not go down to the minimum. After all, murder is a capital offense in Nigeria, but people still go out there to kill. So it goes down to the government. The government should enforce that these persons will be brought to book in the best shortest time. It's not about you start delaying the thing before you know it. In the next 2 years, they will now come out with judgment. They should, even if it means go out there and just like we have the tribunal court, okay, devise a small court that can take care of these crimes and speed up the process.
You think that will solve the problem?
100%. No, not 100%, 99.9%.
Okay, Mr. Victor, let's not dwell much on the nation. Let's move straight now to this day. And amongst the headlines in this day, we have here on page 6, this one here says COVID-19. 19% eligible Nigerians vaccinated, says federal government. 19% eligible Nigerians vaccinated, says federal government on page 6 of this day. And on page 5, we have Nigeria, others move to revive $13 billion trans-Saharan gas pipeline as demand pressure mounts. Okay, and next we have Tinubu, if my vice president nominee decides to step down within time frame, that will be no breach. That's Tinubu saying. If my vice president nominee decides to step down within time frame, that will be no breach, according to Tinubu on this day. And lastly, on this day, we have fuel scarcity. Fuel scarcity. IPMAN faults PPMC, says sale of PMS at 165 naira no longer sustainable. Okay, Mr. Victor, before we go straight to our last paper for today, I don't know what you have to say concerning the headlines in this day.
Okay. It is about placeholder candidate as it stands. Tinubu has also come out to say that his VP candidate can resign if he wants to. What is happening? Nigeria is a very blessed nation. We have a smart...
Can step down.
Yes. We have very smart brains, no two ways about that. But if you notice, what do we even use our heads nowadays to do in Nigeria, if not to find ways to bypass the law?
Crimes.
Crimes. Now, our politicians are looking for holes to, will I say, bypass INEC and its, and even the electoral act that they themselves, as lawmakers and politicians, developed. What is happening? It is only in Nigeria that we are hearing placeholder candidates, meaning you bring a candidate as a VP and you can substitute the person. More like, let me just submit this person's name, let this person go ahead so that we meet the deadline, but much later the person can step down and I will now infuse or put the name of the actual person I am targeting to be my VP. They are politicking no two ways about that, because what is happening? They are trying to find the best possible match that can be their VP, because they need persons that can help them also win, persons that can bring the crowd to add to their own numbers. Okay. Unfortunately,
persons that have the same force as they do.
Not same, but some,
almost
some amount of force. Yeah. So, what is happening? It is only the PDP as it stands, out of the major parties, only the PDP that has been able to bring a proper, I call it proper, a proper vice presidential candidate in the name of Governor Okowa. In fact, PDP are more like, they are showing the way, paving the way for others, because you find that their primaries, they were more like the first persons to do their primary. They've been so quick and fast and more prepared from the look of things. Unfortunately for...
But that doesn't guarantee success, does it?
No. But, man, it gives room for success. As in, come on, come to think of it. they are prepared. It's showing that they are prepared and organized. Okay, look at the Labour Party. I need to mention them because to me, they are the third force.
Don't
To
forget,
me,
the first shall be the last, according to the Bible.
So now, where I see P2B faulting or the Labour Party faulting is that you find out that, yeah, some person might not blame them because you'd be like, it just happened so quick from him defecting from the PDP to the Labour Party. Now, what is happening? From all indication, they just want to merge with NNPP. So they had to also put in their placeholder candidate. Now, out of the three parties, the PDP, the APC, the Labour Party, I feel among the three, the Labour has done the worst. They are shooting themselves by the foot because PDP, I'm trying to use the normal political lines. The PDP have followed the Nigerian political lines whereby the VP comes from one side, either north, while the presidential aspirant comes from the other side, from the other divide, north or south. Okay. The PDP, north is their presidential candidate, south, their VP. APC, same thing, south, presidential candidate, north, VP, which they are not, or in quotes, their VP is a placeholder candidate. But for the Labour Party, they've chosen a Southerner as placeholder candidate in the name of Doyin Okupe, the doctor and the director general of the P2B's campaign. Okay. Now I ask, what if, just like the INEC officer, Festus Oke, came out to say that this law, the placeholder or this strategy, it is alien to our democratic practices. Now, what if and what they are targeting, which they submitted these names, in my own opinion, they submitted these names so that in due course, they can withdraw these names and put in the right person they think should be VP. But what if INEC comes to say it is not possible? This will not happen. So, would that now mean that the party, the Labour Party, will now have a Southern candidate as presidential candidate and a Southern person being a VP? You find out that their calculation will be totally wrong. Because you cannot take away Northern votes, and Nigerians vote by ethnicity. We are a tribalistic country, whether you like it or not, mister.
Who knows? Maybe history could happen.
Which history, my brother?
History could happen.
So, to me, it is a thumbs down for the Labour Party, thumbs up for the PDP, and thumbs in the middle for the APC. So, let's see how it plays.
Okay. Until the very final day, until the election, we don't really know what's the thumbs up and thumbs down for now. For now, it's just a jamboree, I'll say a jamboree. But let's go straight to our next paper and last for today. We shall be looking at the Daily Sun. And amongst the headlines in Daily Sun, we have pension. Imo government has blocked loopholes against fraud. That's according to Uzodimma's aide on page 8. Imo government has blocked loopholes against fraud, Uzodimma's aide says on page 8. And on page 2, we have fuel scarcity spreads, bites harder in Lagos. Fuel scarcity spreads, bites harder in Lagos. Independent marketers hike price. Commuters groan. That's on page 2 of Daily Sun. And on page 6, we have UK faults Ekiti election. UK faults Ekiti election. Decries vote buying. Right? And next, we have court stops INEC from ending voter registration on June 30. Court stops INEC from ending voter registration on June 30th. And lastly, we have sit at home. Gunmen bomb Imo market. Sit at home. Gunmen bomb Imo market. Traders injured. Vehicles burnt. That's on page 5 of the Daily Sun. Okay, Mr. Victor, before we call it a day, I don't know what you have to say in the headlines in the Daily Sun for today.
Okay, plenty stories from the Daily Sun. Okay, also mentioned there was this also other news about 2 youths that killed a mother
Okay, yeah.
and her baby. Okay, my brother, let me start from there. Yeah, like fuel scarcity is an issue. The news is plenty, but let me start because it is close to me because I grew up in Aba, and this incident happened in Aba, where two motorcyclists, aged one is 25, the other is 21. They killed a young mother and took away her baby. What did they do? That somebody paid them 150,000 naira to commit this crime. Just 150,000 naira.
That's to tell you the level of hunger, the level of poverty.
Oh my God. Mr. Cyril, it's not just about hunger. People have gone crazy.
What other reason would make a grown man, you know, that should have his own family, commit such a crime for such an amount? What other reason if not hunger and joblessness and, come on.
And look at what strategy did they use. They took the young girl to a hotel. Okay? I don't know what happened. I don't know how they were able to bring her to a hotel. Maybe through Facebook and all those chat things. Maybe, you know now.
But they were able to manipulate her to...
Yeah, brought her to a hotel. Okay? She went to the hotel, Mary Home Hotel in Aba. They went to the hotel and they drugged her. With what?
I think that still stresses the whole fuzz recently about people going to visit people they don't know in hotels. Because most of the crimes these days have been happening in hotels. You hear in news, so person was killed, his body was found in a hotel. It usually happens in hotels.
What about the one that happened in Ekiti? That a Facebook lover.
Someone you don't know.
Yeah, a Facebook lover called the girl, okay, come, let's meet at Igrita. From Igrita, she saw herself in Eche. From Eche, they robbed her, raped her, kidnapped her. So, too many atrocities.
If you must meet somebody that you met on social media for the first time, shouldn't it be in an open space? Shouldn't it be in a public place where people would see? I don't know. But I feel like it is way too far, or should I say, too much of trust. Someone you've been probably for some reason, you people have been chatting for a while now, and you feel okay, you now know the person well enough to see the person directly in a hotel.
But also, social media has also helped to
join
people.
No doubt.
Relationship.
But it still
businesses.
doesn't take away the fact that that same social media has also helped in the propagation of crimes in society. So we should also watch and pray. Mr. Victor,
It's really a sad one.
It's a sad one.
Then the fuel issue, it is no longer news now that the price of 165 naira per liter cannot be sustained. The subsidy has risen to 4 trillion for the first time in the history of Nigeria.
Hard times ahead.
Now, the marketers have come out to say 165 is not sustainable. In Port Harcourt, they started adding price from 5.9 to 10.9. I was telling Mr. Bule yesterday that, see, Port Harcourt, South, we are even enjoying the largest because we have depot close by. But what about the north, where you need to carry the product and go to the north? You find out that the cost of diesel has been the issue here. The major issue here, because these guys cannot transport their goods again because of the high cost. You cannot pay for high cost of carrying your product and sell the same price. So that means you are not making profit. Many stations are now shutting down. Even the so-called depot in Lagos, Adova, ITO, all those depots have closed because they don't have products. So a lot is happening.
We're out of business now.
A lot is happening. They should come remove the subsidy and make we rest. So now even the question now is, oh my goodness God, we don't even know the numbers of the liters, the number of liters that we bring in this country or we consume in this country, we do not know. Some say it's 100 million. Some say 100 million is impossible because 50 million, we cannot even consume 50 million when you start checking other climes. So what do they even do? They subsidize this product and take it to other African countries. So, and if you check 4 trillion naira, what can 4 trillion naira do for our economy? 4 trillion naira, we are talking about almost 20% of our budget. And we have debt to take care of. And from the look of things, we might be heading for doom with our debts this year because we will not be able to pay the promised or the stipulated amount of money that we are supposed to pay our debtors come this year.
We do hope that they don't buy Nigeria off one day, and then you and I, while sitting down here, someone comes to say, "What are you doing here? We've bought this place, please move." Mr. Victor, it's a very funny world and a very funny country. But unfortunately, this is where we have to call it a wrap on the show today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
and
sir.
as for you who has been there watching us, staying faithful to your screen, thank you so much for staying faithful. We really do appreciate. Without you, we would not be here. But this is where we have to call it a day and draw the curtain on the show for today. Whatever has a beginning has an end. My name remains Cyril Aloy Schultz, and please don't forget you can also be a part of this discussion. You have suggestions, you have questions to ask, do well to drop them in the comment section of any of our social media platforms. On YouTube, we are TAF TV. On Instagram, we are TAF TV_NG. On Facebook, we are TAF TV. And on Twitter, we are TAF TV. Thank you so much once again for sticking there. Until we come your way again next time, do have a blessed and wonderful day. Bye-bye for now.